Hi there, welcome to New Journeys Counselling channel. My name is Marianne and I'm the counsellor and also the founder and owner of New Journeys Counselling. So this video is to talk about stress. Now, one of the areas I specialise in is work-related stress and also other forms of stress. And so I just wanted to sort of briefly do a video where I explore stress in a little bit more detail. I won't make it too long. So stress can be brought on by a particular incident or situation. So for example, you may have, there might be a bereavement, a car accident, something major that happens at work, maybe you've been made redundant. All of these are incidents which maybe you haven't been prepared for, or they're one-off incidents which can lead you to stress, and that can come out in physical symptoms, feeling sick, having headaches, just feeling like you don't know where to turn, you don't know what to do. Or sometimes stress can be ongoing. And what I would say is that in either case, stress, if it's not handled, if it's not managed, if it's not addressed, and there's no intervention, it's just going to have a major impact on your lives. So an ongoing stressful situation could be where you have exams coming up and you've got weeks and weeks or months to, and you've built up this pressure that you've got to pass this exam, because if you don't, then there'll be this consequence or that consequence. The pressure that you're going to build up within yourself, if you don't either acknowledge that, this is becoming a really serious situation here, similar to also having stress at work, if you're having to keep going back into that situation and it's causing you a lot of stress, but you don't kind of admit that it's getting too much for you. If you just continue in any form of stressful situation, then it can only lead to damaging and bad things, really. And what I mean by that is the impact stress has on you emotionally and physically is major. I mean, sleepless nights is one thing, loss of appetite. It can even lead to ulcers, hair loss, it can lead to weight loss. There's so many symptoms physically but also emotionally that stress can do to you. So what I would like to say is that if you are suffering with stress, there are 3 tips which I'm going to give to you, and then I'm also going to direct you to a little leaflet which I found the other day. It is by the Flora Project for Heart Disease Prevention. And these sorts of little leaflets, this one is just called Stress, but they do other leaflets on different things. It basically lists the telltale signs of stress, it gives you a list of those, but it also gives you some really good tips as well. So one of the things you can do is to maybe Google or research some of these organisations. Mind is another one, that's a mental health charity, and some of these other places which will give you free leaflets which you can then read and you've got to hand. But if you're not able to access any of that, I'm going to give you 3 tips, so this will get you started. So tip number 1 is to first identify and acknowledge that you are stressed. Now that might sound simple, but what I mean by that is a lot of people will just continue and continue on, and the stress will be building up, but they won't actually sit down and say, wow, this is just too much for me now. I'm really stressed, I need to do something about it. So if you just continue, usually what will happen is someone will either collapse, or someone in the family or a friend will notice that you've lost loads of weight, or you don't look like yourself, you're not behaving the right way. If you first acknowledge yourself and identify that you're stressed and you need to do something about it, that's the tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to take control of the situation. So when you're stressed, sometimes it can be an external factor that's making you feel stressed, and sometimes it can be internal. In either case, you can still take control. So what I would say is you first of all make the decision that you're going to act. Right, so you might have been going into work for weeks and weeks and you're being bullied by your colleagues or a manager. Once you make the decision that this can't continue anymore, you're on the right path then to looking at all the options. One decision might be to leave work, another decision might be to speak to management, but you're actually saying, right, I'm going to make a decision, I'm going to do something. Take control. So the third tip is to create a plan and something called a rescue kit. In the same way that in domestic violence cases, they create something called a safety plan. It's when you have something written down, prepared, and you might have practical things like a bag or something hidden away, where it's to rescue you from that situation. With a rescue kit, when it comes to stress, it will include things like a plan in place to do meditation every day. It might include every single day after work, if it's work you're feeling stressed, I'm going to go to this particular friend, or I'm going to go for a walk in the park. But you're going to create this kit around what's going on for you. You wouldn't necessarily be doing this by yourself. You would get help. You would get help from someone else to sit down with you and do this. But if you are stressed, these are 3 tips that I feel are useful. But what I would always say is don't just sit and think that, you know, things can't change, because they can. And I hope you found this video useful. I'll be doing lots more videos similar to this. But if you want more information, please go to NU Journeys Counselling. You can find me on Facebook. I've also got a Twitter page, which is NJ Counselling. And you can also get similar videos to this on here. And if you feel that they're useful, beneficial, and you enjoy them, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.